Hey, good evening, Fund My Home associates. Welcome to tonight's call. It's July 15th, 2021, and we've got some great news for you. I know a lot of you have been waiting for the new CRM system to be available, and I can tell you that our CEO has worked quite hard and long hours to get it to that point. So let's just jump right into it now, and let's bring on our CEO, Mr. Carlos Bertini.
Hello, Ken. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Great, great.
Great.
Just having a little, last minute
Technical stuff.
technical with setting up my Bluetooth headset, so I switched over to my regular
Well,
wire headset.
we're glad to have you.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Same here. Okay, well, welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's a great Thursday. It's a good day at fundmyhome.org, and we announced that we were rolling out our CRM, and now we tell you that the CRM is ready for use. The CRM and the auto dialer. So, um, Ken, did you get the email sent you with the video?
Yes.
Yeah. So, why don't we first, before we play that video, why don't we first answer questions that may be any,
Okay.
anybody's questions that may have there.
We have some questions here, and these questions come from Barry Dang. And the first question is, I hope you're doing well. Okay. I've been meaning to ask this question, so here it is. What is the reasoning for moving the real estate investor tab from the home page to the career page? Why would I be directing a prospect to the career section to pursue financing for their deals? Are we trying to recruit them even before they become a client? This is a conflict of interest. You want to take those? You want me to read them through?
Go ahead and read the whole question
Okay.
through, please.
The changes you have implemented to our website are as follows. The career tab, which is at the bottom, enroll your customers, enroll a new real estate investor. This indicates that we, the associates, have to onboard them now. Am I seeing this right? Also, under the Enroll a New Real Estate Investor tab, there's a video that talks about financing program, and then it rolls right into the business opportunity, which is a no-no for an investor to see. Also, the written contents of the program are also not necessary. An investor has already learned the program benefits from the associates, so at this point, all they would have to do is go to the Real Estate Investor tab, only be required to, one, create an investor ID, and two, log into their portal to submit their pre-qualification form. Nothing else to be thrown at them at this point.
Okay, well, thank you, Ken. And Barry, thank you very much for this very well thought question. And I do appreciate anybody like yourself that takes the time to gather the thoughts so that nothing is left to the imagination. So I appreciate that. So thank you. Yes, we are doing well. And the reason for moving the real estate investor tab from the home page to the career page is just for that, because we want to separate completely the homeownership page section or part of our business. We want to separate that from anything. So the home buyers, we don't want them to be bombarded with any other information. So there are other ways that we could display or manage our business by creating other pages. So, for example, if you want the real estate investor to be prevent the real estate investor from seeing certain information, we could perhaps expand into other websites. But it's a very complicated process because we follow genealogy. And the genealogies are complex, especially when we are producing so many different IDs. We had this situation about 2 years ago where we had circular references being created because we were creating a associate member and then creating a home buyer ID and then creating a home buyer ID and then creating an associate member. So it was creating a circular reference was a very difficult thing to overcome, and we did. But now we have more. We have the real estate investor ID, the associate member, the home buyer ID. We have the real estate seller ID. Then we have the business essentials, and we have the business credit development syndicate. And so it starts to get very complicated. So right now, I don't have a way, a practical way to separate everything, because again, everything follows genealogy. But let me comment about this. So the question is, why would I be directing a prospect? This is the question that Barry is posting. Why would I be directing a prospect to the career section to pursue financing for their deals? Are we trying to recruit them even before they become a client? This is a conflict of interest. No, we're not trying to recruit them at all. And 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 so there is, in my opinion, there is no, there should be no reason or no fear to disguise that you guys are here to earn a living. And if somebody knows that you're earning a paycheck, that alone gives them a connection with you, gives them, this is my opinion, of course, gives them a reason to reward you and want to close, because everybody is very generous. Everybody wants someone to benefit, believe it or not. So I would recommend that no one feels inadequate about earning a living. Earning a living is a decent process. But if you don't want to, if you don't want anybody to know that you're making money, and again, I don't see why that's a good thing, then you could send them to a sales funnel. We have sales funnels for in our sales funnel section that you can prospect for home buyers, for accountants. You could prospect for other associate members, and there are different. There's a number of sales funnels. We don't have a sales funnel for real estate investors specifically for the real estate lending, commercial real estate lending that we are offering, but we are now producing it and will be out very soon. So that will be a way to overcome that for some of the people that feel that they don't want investors to know about the details of their income, or maybe they don't want them to know about all the different details of the processes. So then we could create the sales funnel, and from that sales funnel, they can enroll, get their ID numbers, and so on. But no, you're not supposed to. You're not there to enroll them yourself. But if they go to your website, to the career section, they are now under your genealogy, and they can enroll themselves. You could show them the way, and they can do it on their own, or you could do it together. But you're not required to do it for them. So, but I think information is good. I think it's even if the associate, like for example, like Barry Dang, does a great job at explaining everything to his prospects. Well, not everybody does that. Maybe they need a little bit of more visualization for their customers, for their prospects. It's just a matter of opinion, but I do take that into consideration. I think the best way to approach this, to fix this, is by simply using a selection of different sales funnels. So we have a sales funnel that is very spans, and another sales funnel that might be more direct to the point. So we just start with that. These sales funnels can be available in about a week or so. We are definitely doing so many other things right now, so that will take us about a week to complete. So I hope that answered that question, Ken.
Yes, I think you did. Oh, Barry's on the call. He can jump on later and if he needs any clarifications.
Okay, it's just I think the more information that the real estate investors know about, I think is useful for them to know, because they themselves may want to become one of your team members.
Right.
But no, you don't have to recruit them. We're not trying to recruit them first. It's just information.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Right. Okay, thank you. You have another question that came in.
I do,
Ken?
yes. You want to go through those?
Sure.
Let me find them. There they are. These come from Gwenda Clark. First question, I am assuming that the residential commercial real estate program still exists. However, I no longer see it being offered on the website. If it is still an active program, I have the following questions. If a person currently owns a home and is wanting to purchase a fourplex to rent out, does he or she have to live on the premises of that property? And I'll read the next. B is, if no, are there any circumstances or special scenarios where a person purchasing a fourplex will be required to live on the premises? If yes, if you could explain, please.
Okay, well, thank you, Wenda. So yes, the commercial real estate is being offered and it has a lot of interest. We get a lot of inquiries and we get pre-qualification questionnaires being submitted all the time. It's a great product. We are promoting a simple product, easy to understand, easy to promote, easy to qualify, and very attractive. Again, it is a program simple as matching the monthly rental payment to the amount of the mortgage to get a loan approval. No tax returns, no bank statements, no income, no job, and good rates, mid sixes. This is not a private loan. Fundmyhome.org is the lender in these situations, and so we're getting a lot of interest. Even though that's what we're promoting for starts, we get a lot of people wanted to have to propose different scenarios, different size transactions, different types of transactions. Sometimes today there was a particular investor that wanted information about a construction loan. We could do all those, and when the investor has something to ask, the investor will ask it, even if we don't promote it, uh, right from the beginning. But our offer is a conversation piece. Our offer is very interesting. No tax returns, just match the monthly rental to the mortgage payment, get an approval. Okay, so yes, it is still available, and you will find it when you go to fundmyhome.org. You will go to the footer of the page, go to careers, and there you will find the information in two places. You will find it under your business opportunity overview, and you will find it also under enroll your customers. Okay, so go to the question about the fourplex. So this is an interesting situation because buying a fourplex, if everything goes well, gives someone the opportunity to live in one of the units and then rent out the other three for investment purposes, and then also to qualify for the purchase in the first place, which is a very good thing. And if you did that, there are government-backed loans that our preferred lenders can provide with very low interest rates, very good terms and conditions, very low down payments. So very simple. They're treated as owner-occupied primary residences. So great opportunity to purchase a fourplex, treat it as an investment, and use it to qualify for the transaction. The situation is that sometimes people want to sort of take advantage of the opportunity at hand, even though they are not planning to move in any of those four units. And then we don't know who really is going to move in or not. We just know to remind people, look, this transaction quite doesn't look like you're going to move in. So just we want to help you understand how the lenders will look at it. If you have a home, let's say in Orlando, and now you want to buy and you work in Orlando, and now you come up with a proposal that you want to purchase a fourplex, and you want to live in one of them and purchase it as an owner occupied to get down payment assistance because the purpose of all this is to get down payment assistance, but it have to remain as a primary residence for us to be able to give down payment assistance. Okay, so the person lives in Orlando, works in Orlando, and wants to buy a home 500 miles away in another place. Not a home, a fourplex, and want to occupy one of them, one of the four units. Okay, great plan. But the bank may look at it as it's not true. And so we don't have much to do in those cases. It has only to do with the underwriter. If the underwriter thinks that it's a great idea that you live and work in Orlando, but now want to move and commute 500 miles every day, well, if the underwriter of that lender thinks this is a great idea, we think so too. Because our job is not to approve the loans, because we're not the lenders, is to give that payment assistance only to loans that are approved as primary residences. So the the parameters are that FHA will give, in conventional, will give loans for fourplexes at a good term and condition, low interest rate, low down payment, as long as it is a primary residence. You could still get the purchase done, but the lenders will require you more down payment. And fundahome.org is not here to provide great equity when somebody wants to purchase a fourplex as an investment property. We could still help somewhat, but if the bank wants 20% down, we are not going to come and give you 20% down. So, we understand the reasons. We cannot say for certain who is truly planning to move in the house or not, but I can give you some clues. If you are truly going to try to convince the lender that you are going to move in this fourplex, the house in Orlando, in this particular example, would have to be rented. the utilities will have to be moved to the name of the renter. You will have to have a lease agreement, and you will have to have canceled checks, because the lenders will check all this. They're going to make sure that when they do their checks, that the utilities are not in your name, but they are in the names of the person, of the tenant. So they do so many checks, and then if they decide that it doesn't match for them, they are not going to close it. So I hope that I answered that question. We have no problem. If the bank says yes, we say yes. But there's a game. What we don't want you to do is, we don't want you to lose your deposit when you go in a transaction like this, and then the transaction blows up, and then you are outside of your protection. Other than that, we will say yes.
Very good. You answered that very well. Okay, I don't think you left anything out of that one.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And so now we have the CRM, and we put together a small video, a short video. And Ken, if you could play it, please, I appreciate it. And then we'll talk about how we are going to subscribe the associates to this CRM.
Okay.
FundMyHome.org is proud and excited to announce the introduction of its newest sales management tool, the FMH CRM 1.0. It is designed to be both the command and communication center between home buyers, associates, the home office, lenders and realtors, and all customers in general. Every day we use multiple communication channels to talk to our clients. Why not unify all of them? The FMH CRM does just that. In just a few minutes, you can connect your phone, email, social networks and messengers. Our CRM will do the rest. Do your clients call you frequently? They will be automatically connected to the assigned manager. The call will be recorded and rated by your client. Our CRM will schedule follow-up calls as well. Are you relying on email? All emails, yours and clients, as well as replies, are automatically attached to CRM records. What about instant messages? Your messages will be received inside the FMH CRM, and their replies will be sent back to the messenger they were sent from. And yes, those conversations are stored inside the CRM. You can master the FMH CRM in minutes. It will literally tell you what to do next, what is planned for today, what is overdue, and which opportunities don't have any activities planned. Simply clear your due tasks by the end of the day, and have yourself a productive day. The FMH CRM can build new and recurring sales reports, tell you the number of new clients, show communication load, or manage your workload. Your sales process is now fully transparent. Connect multiple communication channels, finish your tasks, and close more deals. The FMH CRM will guide you right through it. The FMH CRM keeps you well informed and in constant communication. By providing you instant access to status updates, you can efficiently corroborate with your customers. You can now monitor the different FMH workflows as sticky orders and watch your customers being competently moved through their processes. As soon as you log in with your credentials, the Deals section pops up. From there, to check on a specific customer report, you would simply click on their sticky order to look into the specifics and the progress of your customer's applications, and add important comments that you may want to share with the home office. Our home office handles the workflow of your customers as sticky orders, so you can visualize, day by day, in which status your customers are located. Once the FMH CRM detects that a new customer ID has been created, the CRM then organizes the ID number as a new transaction and moves the sticky order to the customer welcome call department. A member of our home office will call and welcome your customers to fundmyhome.org. In such cases that your customers missed our calls, our home office continues to call, leaving voicemails and emailing your customers their link to our online calendar, where they can schedule the perfect day and hour to receive their welcome call. Our brief welcome call is intended to familiarize your customers with our process and provide them with the necessary links to our pre-qualification questionnaire, online calendar and document uploader. As soon as our home office completes their customer welcome call, the sticky order is dragged to the pre-qualification questionnaire department, where a counselor is appointed to conduct their pre-qualification review call. From there, the customer then receives a congratulations and recapitulation letter, and instructions to upload their supportive documents. Then, when the documents are uploaded, our CRM moves the order to our quality control department, where it is then moved to participating lenders, realtors, title companies, service providers, and so on until the transaction is funded and closed. You in turn, remain well informed through the process, with 24-hour access to customers' workflow status updates, as you log in day by day on your FMH CRM, to run your daily business activities, at fundmyhome.org. We have a great company, with great products and services, that everyone wants and needs, a company that offers you the opportunity to build a business within our business, to share with other team members our powerful, lucrative, and personally rewarding business opportunity. We realize that the more you prospect, the more you can succeed at fundmyhome.org. In other words, someone has to make the calls. As such, it is with pleasure that we announce that we have also incorporated a state-of-the-art autodialer into our CRM, that every participating associate member can use to prospect and follow up with their new customers. This tool is designed and delivered with the intention to provide our associate members with a true work environment that they all can use daily to excel in their business endeavors at fundmyhome.org.
Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and remember to hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more important.
Okay, well, thank you. Ken, can you hear me?
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, well, thank you. So look, we have a great company, we have a great offering, great product, a lot of interest, and it is, and we recognize that there are a lot of systems that need improvement. There's a lot of situations that we have to overcome. The interest from the public is just very constant because we have a great service, down payment assistance, non-repayable, no income limits. We have a network, people are making money, etc. Now, this is why this CRM project is so important for the company, for the customers, for the associates, for everyone, for the home office, everybody to communicate. So we are putting a lot of attention to this so that things begin to run easier and easier. So the CRM is here to do this, and as we go through it, and we the more we understand it, the more we use it, the easier it gets. Because at the end, it's just departments. It goes from one department to the other one. What we want to make sure is that there is no broken communication between the departments, between the home buyers, associates, and everyone else involved. So, so yes, there are things to improve, places, stages to improve, and this is exactly what we're doing with the CRM. So let's just say, now let's just review real quick. The CRM is ready for use, the autodialer also. So how do we begin to subscribe the associates into this? So here's how it works for now. So you, at the moment, prospect a customer comes in, and they obtain a home buyer ID. They obtain a real estate investor ID or any type of ID. It could be also a new team member, a new associate member ID. Whatever type of ID is generated, the CRM will detect it, and it will organize a file. It will organize a deal, a card. And when that happens, the the person in charge of that department, it has one of the tasks that it has to complete is that it has to invite the associate member responsible for that ID number, invite them to enroll and to get their username, well, actually their password into our CRM. So the invitation goes out to the associate to enter and to enroll into the CRM. So they get an email, you have to accept the invitation and have a new password. And now you become an observer to that particular client, customer, whatever the process is, whatever the transaction is about. So once the associate member becomes an observer of a particular transaction, that transaction goes through the different processes. It finally gets funded, closed, and then the file is closed. Transaction finished, goes to payroll, everything is completed. At that moment, that file is closed. There's nothing to see, nothing to do anymore. But that the same associate member may have other transactions that are moving at the same time. So the associate member will not be removed from the CRM. It's just that the associate member is no longer an observer of that transaction because that transaction already closed. So if that associate member does not have any other clients, customers, transactions, then at that moment there will be no access to the CRM. The CRM is only, you have access to the CRM as an observer of all the processes for a particular customer while those transactions are active. So if you have no more transactions, then there is no access to observe anything. I hope that making myself clear, Ken. Any questions about that?
No, I definitely understand it. I do believe this is one of the missing links that you've discovered that we need to continue our business on. I know that in the past we've had some challenges with communications with support and lending and so on, and I think definitely this will take care of that.
Well, that's the idea, and yes, we have to be honest to ourselves, and that this is in any company, this is when there are so many steps, then it becomes complex and it's a weak point.
Right.
But now it isn't, because each of these departments moves along and alerts the next department, and then everyone involved is able to see what the status is. So it's well networked and it works well. Okay, so now, so access to the CRM as an observer of a transaction is granted by the CRM when the CRM detects a customer ID. Then the associate member receives the email, they accept the invitation, get a password, and now they can observe the entirety of the transaction. Also, the home buyers have the same attributes and everybody else in the transaction: title companies, insurance companies, lenders, realtors, etc., appraisal companies, inspection companies, and on and on and on. Okay. So and that's the part of being the observer. Okay. So meanwhile, the associate member, if that person has something that they want to share with the home office, they have the ability to also share comments and communicate in each step of the way, in each of the processes, each of the departments, with all of the players, communicate and send messages to whoever is authorized to. Okay, so let's see. Now the part of the of the actual auto dialer. The auto dialer will allow you to prospect. That's the idea behind to prospect, and get used to work, to used to get on the phone and work. Perhaps you have a second job, maybe you don't. But this will give you the ability to work it even if you had a second job. You want to work in 20 minutes? 20 minutes you could do it. Half an hour, 2 hours, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to do that with the CRM. Now, subscription to the CRM, subscription to the auto dialer is not mandatory for anybody. And you will have to say, okay, I would like to begin making phone calls. And then we will give you access to it. And you could do it in different ways. You could have it where you could have your own private telephone number, or you could use your phone number and use our number to receive your calls through our extension numbers. Each way, whichever way you want to, but if you're going to call out through our system, through the auto dialer, then you're going to need data. We have a lot of data, a lot of good data that can be used very, very well. And we could obtain more data. So right now, if anybody wants to begin to use the auto dialer, simply connect to us, send us an email to support, and then we will configure your account. We were talking about that in the very near future, we are going to have all the associate members that come in equipped with all of the systems that they need, and that they're going to all, as a condition of membership, to have a monthly maintenance, whereas nobody else has had that yet in the life of fundmyhome.org. But all the associates that are current with us, they are not required that monthly fee, that monthly maintenance. Everybody else no will. So all of you guys that are in the company right now, if you want to participate in and use the auto dialer, send us an email to support@fundmyhome.org, and we will configure it, and we will help you understand how to work it. It's really, really simple after you understand it. And that is also used to the email systems, the instant messengers, because all your communications that you are about to have with the auto dialer and the CRM is all recorded. So you'll be able to follow up and remember where you left it and what to do. The system will tell you what to do, who to call, give you all of the follow-ups. So it's going to take maybe a little bit of practice, and after a while, it's just simple, a few touches, a few clicks, and you're done. And we are also, of course, we're going to put out videos that are going to be in front of the web page for the associate members. Now, going back to what we display or we don't display on the website, our idea and is to simplify everything, to keep it simple, and as Barry Dang is commenting and concerned, we're going to move all those pieces of information to sales funnels so that it's simplified, it's cleaner, there is no conflict of interest perhaps. So the same way that we're using sales funnels for a home buyer, we'll be using a sales funnel for a real estate investor, etc. Any questions, anybody? We got Thomas' hands is up. Ken, are you there?
I am there. Thomas, go right ahead, please.
Yeah, good night, Carlos. Good night.
Hello,
Ken.
Thomas, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thanks for asking. With the auto dialer, do we have various lists that would be available so that we can make our calls by different categories?
I've been saying for a while that we have an amazing data that we acquire of individuals who have an average income of $180,000, I think it is, if I remember. Individuals who have a high credit score, that they have, I forgot all the details, but a very good data that, and these are people who are not homeowners for the most part. So if you were going to be dialing for home buyers, we have a very strong data, and those you could use for the auto dialer. Now, the auto dialer can be used as an auto dialer, but you could also dial one by one. You could just dial your next person. But if you're going to be dialing in high numbers and turning the machine for half an hour, then you need data. And we will help you. We will provide that to you for you to call.
All right. Is that available right now, Carlos?
We have it. We do have it in our possession, and we plan to begin using it.
Is there any cost to that?
Of course, there is certainly a cost for that. What we're planning to do as far as giving it out, because we already acquired it, and whether we give it to you for free, it's a possibility. But I would say that if anyone right now that sends us a message, we will give them data if free of cost.
Okay, fine. That's great. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, do we have anybody else with a question about the CRM?
Now, let me just say something about this 1 second. So the data that we have is not the only data in the world. So if you're looking, for example, let's just take a look. You want to prospect for, let's say, business opportunity, okay? There's gotta be so many companies that will give you data of people who are looking for a business opportunity, for example. So you could prospect for that, or you could prospect for real estate investors, or you prospect for whatever we do. So the data that we have right now, we believe that is well suited for home buyers, for home buyers that are well qualified. And so that gives us, a great chance of increased approvals. This data, because of the high income, they have higher than normal income and credit scores, and these are individuals who are all college and university graduates also. They have higher education. So this data could also be very useful, very, it could match people who are investors, real estate investors, for example. So it's a possibility that if they are not investors at the moment, that they could easily want to invest because they have the ability, they have disposable income, good education, they got good assets. And by the way, as I'm remembering, this data includes a specific known amount of liquid assets, which there is higher, equal or above $50,000 in assets. So you have individuals who have the ability to put a down payment, either in a home or a commercial transaction. They have income, et cetera, et cetera. So you could use it for those two, or use it for anything you want. But if you're looking for business opportunity, I would think that this data we have is probably doesn't match people who are looking for a job or an opportunity. These are more stable individuals. But then again, you could buy from many different companies, and we could help you, maybe give you some suggestions on who to buy it from. Okay.
All right, Maureen, how are you this evening?
Good evening, and thank you, Carlos, for Fund My Home. My question is, what day and time would you recommend for making calls?
Well, very good question, because look, it's a beautiful thing, because I have always been fascinated by real estate agents, especially the listing agents, because they're very structured. They're very the work ethics are very well defined. They get up early in the morning, they go to the gym, work out good, good workout, and they arrive at the office 7:30 in the morning. They turn their machines on and they go off fully scripted. They have a script and they never go off the script. 2 hours later, by 9 p.m., 9 a.m., they take a break and they run their errands, or some of them go to the gym. But they come back to the office around, say, 11 or 12, and they begin to practice and practice. And they practice the script because they stay scripted. And they practice and practice and practice like pros, like if they were athletes, boxers, preachers. And they do that every single day, the same thing over and over again. By 2 p.m., these realtors, these listing agents, they go run appointments, do presentations, and sign people to list homes. And they make all the money because they have a structure. So what time can you do it? I would say early in the morning works, but anytime works, because the auto dialer is going to dial and you're not going to be bothered with busy tones or who didn't answer. You're just going to get the call that answered. So you don't know whether you are wasting your time or not, because there's so much data, so many calls being dialed, that it doesn't make a difference when you call. Never call after 9 p.m. because then you'll be breaking some solicitation calls. So I hope that answers your question. I mean, the answer would be anytime, not too early, not earlier than 7 and not later than 9.
And I think you'd have to know your time zones as well.
And yes, and something else. I think today I have I just saw some information about there's a new ruling that is affecting a lot of companies that are dialing out, where you are those companies are no longer able to use dead phones as the caller ID. So when you start using this system, you have to identify your number, so it will be all clean, open. We're not gonna be hiding behind any systems. It's all clean. Now, and I don't have it clear completely yet, but I do know that because we are a nonprofit organization, we have some exemptions of on how the calls are treated. But still, we have to be careful with all the different do not call lists, etc. Okay.
Looks like our last question. Does anybody else have a question for us tonight? Talking about the CRM.
Okay, well, thank you. So look, the whole thing, the simplicity of what we're doing is we have a great product. We have an offer that is very appealing. And as the video said, someone needs to make the calls. And that's the whole idea. If you make calls, and if you make calls and calls and calls, there is no other way, there is no other result. You are going to get results. You're going to get people to subscribe, to submit applications, and then hopefully they're good and we're moving forward. With the CRM, you'll be able to help us through it. if you have any comments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's just go to work. Okay, we're committed. I know that you guys are also committed. Things are not perfect, but we're definitely serious about making it perfect. And also, I gotta tell you is that at the end of all this, we have such a satisfied, such a our customer service at the end is just very. We get so much gratitude from our customers, and that's indicative of the our the appreciation of our hard work, and that at the end what matters is that we close that transaction. And every transaction takes a little while, whether it's with us or anybody else, but we definitely try and do the best we can. Okay. Thank you very much. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, then I thank you for all your hard work and for your trust, for your faith, and all you do at fundmyhome.org.
Thank you very much, Mr. Berrettini. You have a great evening. We'll talk with you soon.
Thank you.
And I want to remind all of our associates that this will be posted on the FMH Associates Facebook page, the link to this program for replays, as well as on the list I provide with all of the different links of all the programming that we have done over the past year. So that's going to be it for now. A reminder that your prospects for the business or as a home buyer, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 9 p.m. You get the email. The link is in there. Make sure you bring your prospects there, and we do it all for you. Have a great evening and a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Good night.